What's going on, everybody? Alex back with another cryptocurrency video. Today, we're going to be talking about something that no one in cryptocurrency for some reason wants to talk about. Maybe I'm just missing, but basically, I'm trying to solve this cash flow problem for you guys. Most people know, generally how to invest, what they're investing in, because that's the subject that's always talked about. But for some reason, cash flow is like really missed out. So today, I'm going to be talking about how I'm generating $1,321 per day, okay, in cryptocurrency, right? So this niche, you can make cash flow solutions, okay? You can make cash flow solutions. So if anybody ever said otherwise, they're lying to you. And I'm going to show you exactly how that's working. Now, of course, like I said, nobody in cryptocurrency, everybody for some reason, they want to learn about investing, right? They want to know how to like buy a coin, for cheap and then sell it for more and flip their money, finance, et cetera, et cetera. Obviously, a lot of people are talking about that, but nobody wants to solve cash flow. Now, what is cash flow? Cash flow, in my opinion, it's not more important, but I would say that it's lacked and they work hand in hand. So if you have a good cash flow system, you can actually invest a lot better, with less emotion, right? Because if the money that you're putting in crypto is everything that you have and you don't have any more money, you're going to be much more emotional with your investments. If you have a good cash flow system, it actually allows you to invest better. And if you invest better, it actually allows you to generate more cash flow systems. So they work hand in hand. You have to solve both problems for true financial independence, guys. The goal of this channel is to really get you guys on your feet and making money, whether it's on the internet, whether it's through cryptocurrency, et cetera, because like I said, guys, in this new economic state, there's going to be a lot of problems that arise. You have to become self-sufficient for you, for your family, for your whole entire bloodline. This is very important for you as a species to develop and, obviously survive and contribute to mankind. So this is why I make my YouTube channel. This is why I always talk about try to help as many people as possible, because it's like reciprocal altruism. I said in my last video, what you put out in this world will always come back. So investing, cash flow. Okay, so I'm going off in a tangent here. I'm over here rambling, but how do I get $1,321 per day? It's very simple. Let me just come over here to screenshot. So this is my sales for my course in the past 6 months. Okay, obviously this is variable to change. Obviously this is not a complete number, but basically I've been able to generate approximately $1,111 per day from my business. Okay, so I'm going to add this up for you. YouTube gives me approximately $3,000 per month, which is about $100 per day. And you'll see these numbers add up. And then I'm getting right now about 15 to 25% APY on my DeFi investments, which is equal to approximately, it's not that much, it's only like $20 a day. But it's significant because this is my savings. So I'm going to use this money. This is all mostly USD locked up that I can use to buy the dips, et cetera, et cetera. We talk about that in other videos. I'm going to be making like the ultimate millionaire strategy 2.0 that recently changed the games. We're going to be talking about that in other videos. Make sure to subscribe, guys. If you like this type of content, don't miss out for sure. I'm trying to really put people in a position to win in this cryptocurrency environment. We got to build infrastructure, because if we could build infrastructure, obviously it's going to help all of our bags, and then everybody's going to make more money. There's like a one in a lifetime opportunity. So I'm going to make sure everybody's, making money. Oh, at least that's my goal, right? That's my calling, right? So $20 a day off of the DeFi investment. And then you have approximately, and don't sleep on it, I've talked about it in my other videos, affiliate commission. I'm just going to abbreviate. Okay, affiliate commission is about $70 a day right now. So I'm actually making more money off of affiliate commission than I am my DeFi investment. So if you add it all up, you can see how we come to the $1,321 per day. Now, the important part about this, and I want to explain this and be very clear, this has nothing to do with the fact that my investments are about, depending on when you're watching this video, 420% year to date. So my investments, okay, are completely separate from cash flow. Okay, so how do we get different cash flow systems? I'm going to lay out the blueprint for you guys. I'm explaining in extreme detail, hence the different style of video. I haven't made a video like this before, so bear with me. But I'm explaining in extreme detail. You're going to be able to mold this to your life. Of course, I made a YouTube channel. Of course, I got the course. You don't have to make those businesses. to get a cash flow solution for yourself. Actually, if you try to follow my exact path, it's probably going to put you in a bad position. And I'll explain why. You have to follow your own path, and I will explain exactly why. Let me just erase this really quickly. So to typically solve cash flow, you have to do one or two things. You have to have some type of guaranteed income that comes in. And it doesn't have to be guaranteed in an exact amount, but it has to be a lump sum of money that comes in. And most people do it through work, right? Obviously, I mean, that's easy to do. It's not easy to move up in a company, but I will believe that most people will want to learn how to generate their own, business, right? To make their own money. So we're going to be talking about business in this video, okay? We're going to be talking about how to generate your own business. Now, business is very simple, okay? And just to go back to the work thing, you could generate income working for somebody. I don't want people to all be about like thinking that financial independence has to do with only entrepreneurship. That is not the case. You can generate significant amount of income working for somebody else in a CEO or of a company or a higher up executive, and understand how business works as well. But entrepreneurship, understand that it's a different level of investing because you have actually created the company yourself. So I believe entrepreneurship might be the better route, of course. I mean, that's my obvious opinion, but you could do it working for somebody else. You can make a significant amount of money. I don't want to get, people tend to take things on the internet too seriously. So I want to just, want you guys to understand that there's a lot of routes you can take. You have to tailor it to yourself. You have to tailor it to yourself. Don't take somebody else's word for it, right? So you got business, right, is the one that I'm going to be talking about in this video. Business can be broken down into two different types. It could be broken down many more, but just for the simplicity of this video, we have specifically businesses that revolve around happiness, or you could solve a problem for somebody else, right? I'm gonna break it down. Now, happiness is just simply like selling someone an ice cream cone or some Skittles or something like that. It makes them happy. You could say it's solving a problem when it comes to their mental health, whatever the case is, but that's primarily categorized in happiness, right? Then you could solve an actual problem. This is where the real money comes in, and this is how we can really capitalize in cryptocurrency. So we're going to be primarily talking about problem-based businesses, solutions to problems that are arising in this cryptocurrency economy. So what is the big crypto problem? The big crypto problem is that we're solving a new banking system, right? That's the big problem that cryptocurrency is solving. But amongst that, there's going to be there's a lot of opportunity for everybody, guys. You don't have to copy people. There's going to be 1,000 of different problems that needs solved. Okay, these are niche problems. Okay, these are the ones that we are going to capitalize to increase our income and make as much money as possible. Let me explain. When you solve problems, niche problems for an industry, let's just say, this is like the big cryptocurrency industry. When you solve problems for them, you're helping them build a structure, right? I don't know, it's like a building or something. You're building infrastructure for the actual, for the market, right? So understand, cryptocurrency is very, very small, and it comes with advantages. When it comes to advantages in cryptocurrency, you make more money if you invest, as well as when you develop businesses, early on, you get that strategic network effects of the business, and you're basically an early business developer. You're before everybody else, first mover advantage, right? So when you develop infrastructure for one of these, the same thing applies. I just want to give you guys a heads up. So cryptocurrency is like a good way, in my opinion, to get rich really fast, because it's a small emerging market, right? So before we go into the problems and the infrastructure of the business, I want to explain a story really quickly, and this is really important. This is where it gets crazy. Okay, this is where it gets really crazy, and we can get down to a mental level and really solve these problems for you guys. So there was an experiment back in the day in Stanford, okay, and they called it the Stanford Marshmallow Experiment. They had 3 4-year-olds put in a room, and this is like a really bad drawing, but this is the best I could do right here. So they had 3 4-year-olds put in a room, and these 4-year-olds were asked to, this is a horrible marshmallow. These are marshmallows, okay? They were asked to look at the marshmallow and not eat it. If they didn't eat it, and by the time they came back, then they would actually get a second marshmallow. So out of this experiment, they were trying to basically see if people can put off short-term fulfillment, right? And these 4-year-old kids, right? The most natural, they're so young, so they haven't been exposed to the earth. So we could see it on a deep level. So of these 3 kids, it was much more than that, but this was the average. Of these 3 kids, 2/3 ate the marshmallow. They ate the marshmallow before the scientists came back, right? Or the first person came back, and only one got rewarded with the 2 marshmallows. Okay, now why is this important? Well, what they did is they actually fast forward 15 years. They actually found that that one person that got the 2 marshmallows, right? That's a marshmallow. That's a marshmallow. The one person that got the 2 marshmallows was 100% successful in their life. Okay, so this one person that showed the delay of gratification was 100% successful. They were way more likely to be successful in the future. Now, this concept can be described in economics as having a lower time preference. Okay, having a lower time preference always gives you rewards in the future. It's a delay of gratification. I'm going to explain this to you on a very deep level. If you have a higher time preference, okay, if you have a higher time preference, you are more focused on short-term fulfillment versus long-term growth. So I'm going to show you historically, there's been basically a lot of data and a lot of science that adds up to this. And I can say this firsthand that this is the truth. If we were to quantify this on a chart, and this would be high time preference, and this would be low. This would be rate of time preference. This would be like the rate, like if you have high time preference versus low. Now, according to your income, it would basically be like if you had a very high time preference, if you're like YOLO, I'm gonna live it, like you only live once, take every single drug in the world and try to get happiness through short-term stimulus, you would die probably, right? That would be like the worst case scenario. And then the second worst case scenario would be like poverty. And then if you're kind of like half-ass with it, right? If you're like half and half, it would be like middle class, right? And then if you were really smart and you had a very, very low time preference, you'd be wealthy. Right? And basically the graph looks something like this, right? It's very simple. The higher the time preference, the more likely you are to be broke. Okay, and this plays in investing, of course. This is why I always tell you guys, have a long-term perspective of how to invest, right? This is why, Warren Buffett's able to make so much money. This is why the biggest people on earth is because they have a very, very, very low time preference. They do almost nothing for short-term fulfillment. This could be applied to lifting weights, right? For example, like if you want to lose weight, how do you lose weight? You lose weight by basically eating less, right? Cutting your calories, or eating better, cutting your calories, and working out more, burning more calories, right? It's a very simple equation, right? That's how you lose weight. There's no way else to put it. You just burn more calories and you eat less calories. But what people will do is they'll have like an extremely high time preference and they'll try to do everything under the sun to lose weight, right? They'll do like these watermelon diets. They'll do every short-term shortcut to try to, lose weight, and it always messes them up in the long run, right? So understand that when you do something now for short-term fulfillment, you're sacrificing the future value of saving it for the future, okay? Understand that. If you're doing anything for short-term gain, you're sacrificing the value over the long run. This is the simple way to put it. But basically anything you put off, and I'm explaining this even more depth. I know this is probably going over some people's head, but just bear with me. For some reason, everyone in cryptocurrency has an extremely high time preference. I mean, these people are not investing. They're not even thinking in months terms. These people are thinking in daily terms. What DeFi protocol can I lose my money in, right? They're not worried about the long run. They have no fundamental basis. Most of the people in crypto, and that's why most people in crypto lose money. But this is not new to any market. This is just like real life. Most people have an extremely high time preference, okay? Now, I want to explain that to you because we can expose this high time preference of the average person to make a business out of it, okay, as well as increase your investment success. So let's do another thought experiment. Bear with me here. So let's say we had 2 guys again, right? So these guys are, they're dads for their family. They have to basically make sure their family eats. Let's just say this was thousands of years ago, and they were fishing, for example, right? This is a horrible example of a fishing pole. Let's just say there's 2 fishing poles and they fish. Now, on average, they have to fish for 8 hours to get food for their family. Okay, so let's just say that these guys were fishing, and they, every day, for however long, they've been feeding their family by fishing for 8 hours, and this was like the standard that they knew, right? Very, very simple to understand. Now, let's just say that one of these guys had the bright idea of basically either one, eating less, or working harder to do something that's very smart, which would be like a vision. This is like the one element of a human species that is different from animals, is the fact that we can visualize something and make it become reality. So like the one guy was like, you know what, I'm not gonna sit there for 8 hours and fish. I'm just gonna save my food. We're gonna eat less food so that I can spend less time fishing and more time building a boat. Why? Because that's a horrible boat. But the reason why he's building the boat is so that he can fish and get more fish. He can basically make more fish, right? So let's say hypothetically he gets this boat, right? And it takes him 4 hours to get the same amount of fish that he would have originally taken 8 hours to get, right? So let's say he ate less, right? He basically made his food last longer. He worked extra hours. Instead of working 8 hours a day, he worked 12 hours a day, and he created this boat. Okay, now this boat can take him out to the middle of the sea, and he can get 4 hours worth of work for the same 8 hours he used to have to put in, right? So he can literally fish for 4 hours and get the same amount of fish that he used to have to fish for 8 hours. What does that do? That frees up 4 hours of his time. Now, what if this guy was really smart? And this is where you guys come into play. And he took this 4 hours and he built more boats, right? He built more boats. He built a whole bunch of them. And he started selling these boats to people that wanted to fish for 4 hours. This person will be rewarded what? Money. A whole bunch of, that's a horrible, they will be rewarded money. I need to learn how to draw better, guys. They'll be rewarded a whole bunch of money. And in this case, of course, there was no money. Maybe there was, I don't know the story, but he could have basically said, hey, give me your fish, work 8 hours, give me your fish and pay me off, like a loan thing for his boats, right? So what I'm trying to get across here is that the first guy had a low time preference and said, hey, I'm going to struggle a little bit more now, right? This first guy, the entrepreneur, said, I'm going to struggle a little bit more now so that I can build a boat. In building a boat, I can sell the boat and actually have more time in the future. You guys understand? Hopefully this is painting the time preference, picture for you guys. Really important. And it kind of brings us back to, okay, let's find a problem. And this is why I wanted to explain to you guys. Like we talked about it before. We have to find a problem, a niche problem in cryptocurrency that you can uniquely solve yourself. Okay. Now the first thing you have to do is you have to identify the problem. And this identification has to be correct. You guys cannot try to solve a problem that you think is a problem. You have to ask the community. You have to go into, forums. You have to go look around and see the most common problem that keeps popping up. Now, number two, this problem that you're finding in cryptocurrency has to align with your strengths. I'm going to make a really bad drawing of a muscle guy's arm, and here's his hand. That's strength. That's my symbol. I can't draw. This is my signal for strength. Now, three, okay, it has to align with your strengths, guys, because if it doesn't align with your strengths, you're not going to solve the problem that well. Okay, if you're not solving the problem that well, you're not going to be rewarded. You're not going to make money. Okay, so three, the really smart thing to do is with your strengths, develop a specific skill set. We're going to talk about specifics. Of course, I'm going to give you guys ideas. Of course, I'm going to give you the fish, but I want to explain to you how you identify this. Now, your strengths can be solved in a lot of different ways. You have to just know who you are. You can journal. You can go take the Briggs-Meyer test. There's a lot of different self-awareness courses you can find, and you want to look for your strengths, because if you're trying to play an industry that you're not good at naturally, you're going to lose every single time. I'm trying to teach you guys how to make money, right? And money is competition. You're going to lose to someone that has strengths. So you want to make sure you know who you are. Find a skill set from those strengths and then sell it, package it up nicely. And this is like my bow for like a gift or something like that. Package it up nicely and sell it. Now, the important part is that you are this one person here and you're selling it to hundreds of thousands of other people in the industry. So you're able to make money every single time off of this one product that you develop. And then we can break it down into, you build a product And then you have to have marketing. We can break down the business. Maybe if you guys marketing, maybe if you guys want me to talk about more of that, leave a comment below. But yeah, it's very simple, straightforward. This one solution that you make, you can commercialize it just like the boats and sell it to as many people as possible, right? This is how business works. And this is what you have to understand to solve your cash flow problem. Now, a lot of people are thinking, well, I don't know how, what problem I can solve. I don't know. I don't have a product. I can't build a product, et cetera, et cetera. And it's very easy to solve this problem as well. Now, first off, the skill set problem is easy. You have to make sure it aligns with your strengths, though. Like if you're not a day trader, don't try to learn day trading. If you're bad with numbers, if you're historically don't like looking at screens, don't try to be a day trader. It doesn't make any sense, right? So the skill set obviously has to align with your strengths, but the skill set could be easily solved. We live in an information age. I'm sure the guy that wanted to build that boat had to do it through trial and error, but here we can go on the internet or read 30 books. That's more specific. Read 30 books about the problem to solve it, guys. Read 30 books. You can do that in 2 months. And when I say 2 months, I know it scares a lot of you, but you have to understand is that if it scares you, that means that you're having a higher time preference. If you're not willing to stick something out for 2 months, you have a high time preference. You're doing it wrong. I can blatantly tell you that if you're not thinking in 2 month, year, 2 years, 5-year terms, you're having a very high time preference, which historically will leave you broke. Understand that. So 30 books about the problem. Read 30 books and you're there. It doesn't, I'm not an extra smart person. Clearly, a lot of you guys know that. I try to keep it down to earth. I'm not like extra smart and have an IQ of 100,000 or something like that. I'm a normal person. I'm a normal person that's willing to stick it out and have a low time preference. Understand that, right? Now, the easiest way you could do it is looking at the industry of cryptocurrency as a spectrum. Beginners, and then expert spectrum. So the expert spectrum will be like people coding, like you can solve problems for coders or something like that, or you can solve problems for these cryptocurrency industries themselves. Beginner spectrum will be like me, where I'm basically educating people about cryptocurrency. You could do that. You can go that realm. You don't even have to educate people, right? You don't have to do what I did and make a course. What you guys can do is you can do consulting. You can actually get people into crypto. Like one example I said in one of my live Q&As is that you can basically easily go source and crowdfund from rich people and sell them the 15% APY on DeFi protocols on Yearn Finance, and they don't even know how to get their money into there. You do it for them. You get their money into the DeFi protocol and manage it for them and take a fee, okay? I've always said it before, the affiliate commission, you could easily generate anywhere from $250 to $500 per year per person that you onboard into crypto. Now, what are we talking about here? We're talking about building infrastructure for crypto, guys. Do you see the revolution I'm trying to start? Okay, we're building infrastructure for this whole entire industry, guys. I'm not just teaching you how to invest. I'm teaching you how to be sufficient, self-sustaining, right? People don't want to talk about this because they don't really know what they're doing. Most people, even if, some of your crypto guys have a very high time preference, right? Very high time preference. A lot of them are talking about coins that don't need to be talked about. I mean, from what you guys know why I'm so conservative. There's a reason, because I have a very low time preference, right? Now, so just a couple ideas that we talked about. You can help onboard beginners, right? You can audit code for smart contracts and take a fee. You can create a website aggregating data and analytics for cryptocurrency DeFi protocols, right? You can basically make any infrastructural solution to cryptocurrency, and believe it or not, this industry has a ridiculous amount of problems. In my opinion, the industry has more problems than others that have more infrastructure. Like if you look at Forex, if you look at trading, penny stocks, et cetera, there's so many digital courses, there's so much solutions, there's so many different platforms you can apply to. So there's less competition in cryptocurrency, and it's a more lucrative move, in my opinion. So just understand that it has to all match. You have to match your skill set, your strengths, and to focus, very focused, right? So you guys can't expect results in 2 months. You have to focus for 6 months, a year, as solving a specific, unique niche problem, right? And then scale up, and maybe you can solve bigger problems. You want to start small, or you want to take baby steps before you jump into anything. So go ahead, do this mental, mind map. Go write down, brainstorm as much as you can, and see what problems you could potentially solve in cryptocurrency to make money. On my channel, we talk about a lot of different issues that are arising And there's much more. You can start a hedge fund. You can manage people's money, right? It's limitless. I don't care how old you are. The beauty of the internet is that, you know, you could be a little kid and nobody knows who you are, and you made this whole business. You could sell t-shirts, you could do e-commerce in crypto, et cetera, et cetera. There's so much ways to monetize it. And it all starts with a fundamental understanding of how businesses work. So hopefully you guys like this video. If you like the explanation, if you like the whiteboard thing, if you like the quality of this content, hit like. If you don't, leave some constructive criticism, subscribe for more video updates. And like I always say, if you don't get with this technology, you will get left behind. Thanks for watching this video, guys. Catch you in the next one.